watching African News 24 TV. I'm Mary ADIM. Here are the stories we have for you. First, the major headlines. Terrorists kill Muslim faithful during a prayer service. Christian leaders in northern Nigeria drop Nothing Can title. Rivers State Governor appoints new SSG and Chief of Staff. And in the main bulletin, beginning with security, our suspected Lakurawa terrorists have killed no fewer than 5 worshippers during an attack on a mosque in Dadinkowa, Mayawa local government area of Kebbi State. Eyewitness account that the terrorists also injured 3 worshippers in the reprisal attack following a failed ambush on the convoy of a Nigerian Army General Officer commanding. The assailants were said to have stormed the mosque and opened fire on the worshippers during evening prayers on Wednesday. The Kebbi State Police Public Relations Officer Bashir Osman confirmed the attack, saying the terrorists targeted the mosque in retaliation for their earlier military defeat. The GOC, 8th Division, and Commander, Sector 2 Operation Fansanyama, Major General Bemga Kunya, came under attack while on his way to visit troops deployed to the state on Tuesday. In other news, Christian leaders across the 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory have officially dropped the Nothing Can title, reviving their original 1964 identity as the Northern Christian Association. The decision was announced at a 2-day stakeholders meeting in Kaduna, attended by state chairmen, secretaries, and representatives of youth and women wings. The gathering also marked the first anniversary of Reverend John Hyab as Nothing Chairman. Leaders explained that the change was necessary to clarify the mandate and strengthen their regional voice, noting that Nothing Can label often created confusion about their relationship with the national body, the Christian Association of Nigeria. From the north to the south, where the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, has approved the appointment of Dr. Dagogo Wokoma as Secretary to the State Government and Sonny Ewule as Chief of Staff. Fubara disclosed this in a statement issued by his Chief Press Secretary, Onwukanzeshi, today. The new appointees were sworn in today at the Government House in Port Harcourt, the capital of Rivers State. The latest development comes after the governor dissolved the state's executive council and directed all commissioners and special advisors to hand over to the permanent secretaries or the most senior officers in their respective ministries. And from Rivers to Lagos, where the wife of the governor of Lagos State, Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, and the wife of the deputy governor, Oluremi Hamzat, have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening initiatives that promote the holistic development of the boy child. They spoke at the Boy Child Residential Workshop organized under the May God Day Boy Child Initiative, where participants were encouraged to become responsible leaders and ambassadors of societal change. Lydia Ajayi has more details.
Young boys from different backgrounds gathered for a residential workshop focused on reorientating the boy child towards responsible living and positive societal impact. The First Lady of Lagos State, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, has emphasized the need for deliberate investment in the upbringing of the boy child, noting that building a safer and more prosperous society begins with nurturing disciplined, morally upright, and emotionally stable young men. Addressing participants at the residential workshop, she said the initiative was designed to provide guidance, mentorship, and exposure that would position boys to grow into responsible and productive members of society.
This initiative was conceived out of the need to give our boys the right attention, the right guidance, and the right opportunities required to grow into responsible, confident, and productive members of the society.
On her part, the wife of the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Oluremi Hamzat, described the workshop as a timely intervention aimed at reorientating young boys to become agents of positive change within their families and communities.
The values you learned here: discipline, respect, responsibility, resilience, and self-belief will serve as the foundation of your success. Always remember that your voices define your future. Strive for excellence in your academics.
The workshop brought together boys from diverse backgrounds for sessions focused on leadership, mentorship, moral values, and personal development. Organizers says the initiative forms part of broader efforts to equip young boys with the skills, confidence, and ethical foundation required to navigate societal challenges and contribute meaningfully to the growth of Lagos State and Nigeria. Lydia Ajayi, Africa News 24 TV.
The National Universities Commission has announced plans to sanction Nigerian universities and other degree-awarding institutions found guilty of the indiscriminate conferment of honorary doctorate degrees. In a statement issued today, the Commission expressed grave concern over the rising misuse of honorary awards, warning that such practices undermine academic integrity and damage the credibility of the Nigerian university system. According to the NUC, new comprehensive guidelines have been approved to regulate the conferment and use of honorary doctorate degrees. The Commission stressed that institutions must strictly adhere to these rules, which are designed to preserve the sanctity of academic honors and align with the principles of the Careful Declaration of 2012 signed by all Vice-Chancellors. And in power, the Benin Electric Distribution Company has announced that parts of Benin City will experience a 1-month power outage due to major maintenance work on transmission infrastructure. In a statement released today, BEDC explained that the planned outage is necessary to allow the Transmission Company of Nigeria to carry out critical repairs and upgrades on aging equipment. The company said the exercise will improve long-term service reliability, but acknowledged that the temporary blackout will cause inconvenience to residents and businesses. According to BEDC, the outage will begin on March 1, 2026, and is expected to last until March 31, 2026. The company advised customers to make alternative arrangements for electricity supply during the period and assure that efforts are being made to minimize disruptions. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll tell you Nigeria's ambitious nationwide digital infrastructure drive project. Stay tuned.
And in business news, Nigeria's ambitious nationwide digital infrastructure drive, Project Bridge, has received a significant boost with fresh international funding commitments from major European partners. The board of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development has formally approved a $100 million investment in the initiative, while the European Union has pledged a €22 million grant as part of its broader €45 million digital economic package. The approvals, confirmed by the Minister of Communications, Innovations and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, were announced following intensive diplomatic engagements across 6 European countries aimed at galvanizing support for Nigeria's digital expansion agenda. Project Bridge, launched by the federal government in 2025, seeks to deploy approximately 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable to expand broadband connectivity nationwide, particularly in undeserved and rural areas. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, Jennifer Adije, has urged the federal government of Nigeria to scrap electricity subsidies for all categories of consumers
and adopt full cost-reflective tariffs as part of urgent reforms to stabilize the country's struggling power sector. Speaking amid mounting concerns over liquidity shortfalls in electricity markets, ADIM warned that the current subsidy regime has created deep financial distortions across the value chain, with generation and distribution companies reportedly recovering only a fraction of their monthly invoices. She argued that unless tariffs reflect the true cost of power generation and supply, the sector will continue to grapple with underinvestment, operational inefficiencies, and inadequate service delivery. And in foreign news, U.S. and Iranian officials are meeting in Geneva for a third round of indirect talks aimed at preventing a potential conflict, as President Donald Trump warns he could strike Iran if a nuclear deal is not reached. The negotiations are being mediated by Oman's Foreign Minister Badr Abdul Saidi, who said the parties have shown unprecedented openness to new and creative ideas and solutions. Iran's delegation is led by Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, while the United States is represented by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. President Donald Trump, speaking during his State of the Union address, accused Iran of attempting to revive its nuclear weapons program and warned that he could not allow what he called the world's #1 sponsor of terror to obtain a nuclear weapon. In response, Abbas Araghchi said Iran would under no circumstances ever develop a nuclear weapon and described the current negotiations as a historic opportunity to reach an agreement. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has cautioned against any deal that does not address Iran's ballistic missiles program and its regional allies, as tensions remain high over the outcome of the Geneva talks. Bill Gates has admitted to having 2 extramarital affairs and apologized to staff at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation over his past association with the late financier Jeffrey Epstein. The billionaire philanthropist said he deeply regrets his actions and acknowledged the impact they may have on colleagues and the foundation's reputation. In a statement, Gates described his encounters with Epstein as a serious error in judgment and said he wishes he had handled the situation differently. He stressed that while his meeting with Epstein were related to philanthropic discussions, the association was inappropriate and should never have happened. The revelations come as Gates continued to face scrutiny over his personal life and business relationships. He reaffirmed his commitment to the foundation's work on global health and development, promising transparency and accountability as the organization moves forward. Welcome to sports. Football legend Lionel Messi says he wishes he had learned English earlier in his career, despite his global success with FC Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, and Argentina national team. In a recent interview, Messi explained that language barriers sometimes make it difficult to communicate with teammates and fans across different countries. Now playing for Inter Miami CF in Major League Soccer, he says improving his English has helped him settle in the United States and connect better off the pitch. Messi added that learning the language later in his career is helping him share his experiences and legacy with a wider audience. Nigeria's senior women's basketball team, the Tigers, have named their provisional squad ahead of the upcoming FIBA Women's World Cup qualifiers. Head coach Sam Vincent announced the list, featuring key stars such as Adora Elonu, Ezine Kalu, Uju Ugoka, and Chinwo Okorie, with a mix of experienced internationals and promising young talent. The team will compete in the qualifying window later this year, with Nigeria aiming to secure one of the available spots at the global tournament. Vincent says the squad reflects depth and versatility adding that the final selections will be made following training camps evaluations. In entertainment, gospel singer Busola Oke has revealed that she is facing severe financial difficulties and is contemplating quitting the music industry due to mounting pressure. During a recent live session on TikTok, the singer became emotional, citing the challenges of sustaining a livelihood through gospel music. In a separate interview with Biola Bayo, Oke said her emotional breakdown was triggered by loneliness, depression, frustration, and financial hardship. She disclosed that she has not owned a car since 2020 and is currently struggling to offset outstanding debts. The singer further stated that she is in urgent need of stable accommodation and a vehicle, explaining that funds meant for necessities such as food are used for Uber rides. Grammy-winning Nigerian singer Burna Boy is currently trending online after he funded a renovation project at the Federal Polytechnic, Nasarawa. Burna Boy donated a significant sum of money said to be over 140 million naira to controversial online activist Very Darkman, popularly known as VDM, to support the renovation efforts at the institution. The funds were used to upgrade certain facilities within the Polytechnic. However, there has been no official statement from Burna Boy's management team or the school authorities confirming the donation. That's all we leave it for today. For continuous coverage and updates, please head to africannews24.ng and connect with us across all our social media platforms. I'm Mary ADIM. Thank you for watching. Good evening.